Hey, Clint Smith here from EliteFTS.com. Got a question on the Q&A about how to wear a belt effectively, and I think that's a good topic to cover. May seem simple at first, but it's definitely worth going over. So first thing is what type of belt to wear. Specifically, I highly recommend the EliteFTS P2 Power Belt. It's very good quality and it comes broken in. A lot of belts, you get them in the mail and they look like this, and it takes weeks, if not months, to break them in to where you can use them well. So it comes broken in already. Perfect thickness and width as well for competitive powerlifting. The thickness that you look for is 13 millimeter, and that's a little over ½ inch. And width that you need to look for is 4 inches. And again, this is like competition standard. There's lots of other belts out there made a lot of other materials, including neoprene, and a lot of them come thinner. And people like them because you know, they're not as blocky and not as obstructive. And they're all good. They're all good for, you know, their own applications. Like, you know, maybe if you're just you know, training at a health club and just want a little bit of support. But if your main goal is to lift heavy weight, then 13 millimeters by 4 inches wide. Next thing is where to place the belt on your torso. You don't want it too low, because if you get it too low, then it's definitely going to bind your hips up. It's going to dig into your hips, and that's going to prevent you from executing the lift. And if you wear it too high, then it's not really going to be that effective at stabilizing your trunk. So the best place for you to wear it is as low as possible, so that it's not digging into your hips. So get it as low as you can while it's still not digging into your hips real bad at the bottom of the lift. That's going to vary from lift to lift. For example, conventional deadlift, where you have a narrower stance and you really have to bend a lot more at the waist, then you're going to want to wear the belt higher than you would say if you were doing a wide stance sumo type of deadlift, because your torso is much higher and you can effectively use a lower belt position. So you figure out where you need to place it so that it's not digging in your hips too bad. And then the next thing is you want to have a downward angle, slight downward tilt with the orientation of the belt. And the reason this is because you want to be able to push your abdomen down and out, and it kind of locks the belt into your waist and the top of your hips. And that's really, and then that gives your trunk and your stomach muscles something to push against, which really stabilizes your lower back and your front torso. So when you put a belt on, you get a nice tight fit. Don't just think about contracting your abs. Think about pushing them out and down, almost like, you know, trying to make a little pot belly. So that will really make you feel a lot sturdier with the weight if you do that simple tip. The other thing is how tight to wear the belt. You know, you need to figure that out for you, and you need to figure that out based on what you're doing. Again, I use the example of conventional versus sumo for the deadlift. Conventional, you might not be able to wear it as tight and use, you know, be able to do the lift well than if you were doing sumo, because of the fact that you bend over more at the torso. So that's just something that you need to experiment with, and it's something that I experiment with all the time. You know, I'm always, you know, I might tighten it up and test it out, maybe get under the bar, maybe grab the bar. No, that's a little too tight, need to loosen it up. So it's just something you need to always be mindful of. One little tip about belts with a prong is when you're tightening the belt or taking the belt off, don't pull the belt, don't pull the slack straight out, peel it back, and it makes it much easier to adjust the belt. One good tip too with the peeling back is use something like a power rack or a squat rack to help you adjust the belt. Here, I'll get over on this side. Come over here. If you want to get a good tight fit, you grab the bar and then use your hands to wedge yourself against the rack, or upright, or whatever it is, and then twist your torso so that you're peeling the weight, you're peeling the belt back to get a tight fit. Same thing when taking it off. Don't blow your shoulders out trying to pull it off, you know, just peel. Barely even use anything to take that belt off. Same thing if you're having a training partner help you. Have them grab the belt and then you twist away from them to get the belt off. While we're talking about prongs, I definitely recommend a single prong over a double prong. I really, personally, don't see any advantages to having 2 prongs versus 1. And it's much easier to take off, adjust, put on 1 prong through the hole than to fool with 2 prongs. I also like lever belts. I think lever belts are good too. I still use the lever belt for squatting in my suit. Don't use it for deadlifting right now, but the only bad thing about a lever belt is it takes a longer time to adjust because you got to unscrew the actual lever to the belt depending on how tight you need the belt, and that definitely makes this easier to use. So that really is about all I wanted to cover for the belt. Feel free to ask me any questions on EliteFTS.com. I look forward to hearing from you.